James has this reputation for being precise, for knowing what he wants. And I wanted to ask you guys, was there a scene in the film as actors where you thought, oh, really is the real deal? Was there a scene or a direction that he gave you where you thought, I'm working with James Cameron, this is dead?
Oh, I think every scene. I think one of the joys of an actor, when you're in a film, is that you can trust that you're in good hands. And we all had that. The script was fantastic. He wrote it, and he's directing it. And we had all seen Terminator. So we went, this guy is the real deal. So I don't think there was ever any pushback. Gee, I think we should do it a different way. No, he's got it pretty much figured out. And
there was
pushback to know that.
There was pushback, but they fired him.
Right.
The first
Yeah.
assistant director was this venerable guy who worked for David Lean a number of times and wouldn't really listen to Jim, didn't know who he was, about how he wanted to write the scenes. He would say, you're fired.
My ride is here. Yeah, well, Jim, was 29. He was this brash, really cocky, but cocky. He was just confident and skilled. And as we said, he knew what he wanted. So some of the older school British, these guys have been around and put off, but they came to realize that, this kid, he may be brash and American, but he knows what he's doing.
As creators, did you collaborate with him? Did he allow you to take part in that creative process?
Yeah, I mean, we actually rehearsed for a few weeks, and that was part of the ability for us to sort of bond together to create the sort of camaraderie that Marines would have together. But yeah, Jim was good. Bill Paxton improvised a lot. And Jim was always very deferential. Bill, they were very close. But if Jim did, he would say, say that, but Bill, don't say the other things. But my recollection is like my first day on set, I had like a 4:30 a.m. call. And I'm going through one of the cavernous sound stages. It's pitch dark, except I see in the distance somebody with like a miner's light off their head. They were doing something. As I get closer, it's Jim at 4:30 a.m. and he's making notes about the APC set. He's just wandering around, and we were the only people there. And I just said, "Morning, Jim," and he was so focused and engrossed in what he was doing, he didn't even respond. But that's the guy's driven. He's perfectionist, and so many details that he added to the story are just
totally
great.
Supported by his then wife, Gail Ann Hurd, who was equally focused.
Yeah,
And it was on at least 2, maybe 3 different sound stages. So
7.
What? 7 stages?
There were 7 stages.
So he would be working with us, and then he'd disappear because he was going where they were shooting the miniatures and a lot of the stuff. Because you can't even tell. I still can't. I'm not smart enough to know. You see, the cuts are so fast. Like, that's an actual thing, and that's an actual miniature. But so he was overseeing all these things, and it's a massive job. It was 3 months of filming, plus that was how long.
And the entire budget for this movie was only $18 million. And the reason I think, the reason Jim, I think, had a reputation for being, very tough and maybe megalomaniacal, the reason was because he and Gail were on the hook for any overages. So he was determined to get his days in and get all the details in, and of course he didn't want to pay for it out of his own pocket. Who likes to do that?
And getting back to your question, I knew he was the real deal when I was doing a scene and we had shot a take, and then he said, "I don't believe it." And for an actor, you don't get that very often. A director will try and talk to you and nice and baby you. He didn't have time for all that, so he just said, "I don't believe it," and that was so refreshing for me. I'm like, cool. At the end of the day, I don't want to put some shit up there that nobody believes either. So we're on the same page here. If you can talk to me directly, we don't have to do all the little soft stuff, then we can make it happen quick. And that's when I felt like, okay, I like this guy. I grew up with 5 brothers and 5 sisters, so I'm I'm not thin-skinned. So I actually appreciate it, and I thought also, this man is able to focus on a number of different things because he's not spending time on the minutiae of babying people. But piggybacking on what you said about him being focused on what he does, there was a scene when we come out of the drop, and we're gonna run out, and I'm leading the run out, and it's raining. And in film, if it's raining, you have to it's just a lot of water. And so I don't want to mess it up. And so I say to Jim just before we go to shoot, and I say, listen, Jim, when I run out, if you want me to turn left, turn right, and he looks me straight in the eye and he goes, yes, and walks away.
He probably already told you which direction.
I think his mind was so preoccupied that he thought he gave me an answer, and he did. The answer was yes. But I still didn't know which way to go, so I just made my own.
I was so afraid to mess up that scene because Mark and I went out first. I mean, it's raining and you're gonna hit your mark. I mean, and they could only do it twice. They had so many cameras because you're all wet. You gotta reset. You gotta go back and get dry. So you better hit your mark. I mean, I could hardly see my hand in front of my face.